Hello and welcome. As today's date, that comes in that of Sunday, 29th day of December, 2019. My name is Derek and this is the Money Charts channel. Like we're always, risk reward. Well, that's within yourself. For myself, it's job number one, and that's everything you take. That's your own risk, your own reward. Meaning, hey, you take your risk on it. It's really risky. Some things are risky, and some of the same things that are risky are also rewardy. Is that a word? Well, I'm using it as one. Bitcoin, first of all, the highs of June is a lower high from the 20,000 now, almost 3 Super Bowls ago. There's been 3 Super Bowls being played since that high, meaning in a month and change from now, 5-6 weeks from now, we will have the 3rd Super Bowl played since the $20,000 Bitcoin prices. So another amount of time has been played. It's been well over 2 years now. No, it's been over 2 years. 2 years and about 2 weeks. Since the highs of 2017, but since the highs of the summer. 1, 2, 3, and 4 lower highs. We have this low, which was then matched several times here, and then again with a little bit here, and then again with a little bit here. And interestingly, in both of these situations, the fact that it hasn't came down to the 63, well, even if what happens, what I'm saying is probably going to happen, which is going to be a rally, doesn't get us out of the woods, given high, 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 and don't be surprised if an upside target gets here. Now, whether it is going to be a low when it gets there, and if it gets there, would be the next line in question. But as I'm seeing this now, from this low, you have this breakout play, which to me is showing a lot of signs as far as successfully correcting this. And thus, this is not a failed breakout for this move. This is a breakout coming back to where you're supposed to in a correctionary move on the comeback. And now it looks to me as if exitation might be in play. It will still have to get above these key levels of resistance. Let's look at this further on other time frames. Of course, before I do that, I've just removed the drawing tool so we can see things just a little bit more clearly just within the last few periods amongst this, that from this move, and really this move in itself is correcting very, very nicely, and the levels of key resistance that it most certainly is going to have to get above is this area in here. And a clear break, well, it's got to get above 78.48 just to get above it, then some noticeably more clear, which I'm going to have to say is, 8,000. So getting above 8,000, then maybe we can start to talk about getting a few hundred more, where I think resistance is going to come into play deeply again at around 8,600. But it's a long ways to go. It's favored, I think, to make a lower high, or at least it's got a big price point to move up towards it. 3,000 more. And not like Bitcoin's 40%. It's done that many times over, so it could very easily not resist this and just break further. That when these things go, big buyers come in if that happens to be the case. Of course, I'm not predicting that. I'm just thinking that as this daily chart is coming into play, it's looking relatively nice. Let's shorten it out to the 3-hour chart. And from this low on December the 27th, 2 days ago, it has done very well in holding within this 18. We can see this level of resistance that it had at the start of the day yesterday, and again yesterday afternoon. Was entangled throughout the nighttime session, 1 o'clock stamp, and we're just breaking it over the last couple periods now. So to me, this looks like a good session where we're looking at that exitation part, and for now, retracement. We could handle a little bit of resistance piercing above 74.33, but to me it looks like we're firmly going to be having a move at least to about a 61.8% around 75.39, but even up to the previous high for the move. That is how it looks really interesting from this low in here is you have your resistance high, you successfully correct this, you establish a new one, and it was really a piddly-ass kind of move given that, well, you barely broke this resistance, and you rejected the rally relatively immediately but fast. However, after the rejection of this rally, as it had a failed breakout, And the spot where the failed breakdown is supposed to occur, this is where the period in here, where you look at the story and try to understand it, like how's the story go based on, like as I'm saying it here, as an example. Because after all of this down move, this was the period where it tried to get above, but the immediate red move down, you might read books when you see something like this and a big red one down, that's bearish, and it is. So you consolidate that bearishness with the 3 or so periods in here. Then you have the breakdown period, where it's like after this period, okay, alert, this thing is going down, baby. It's going, and of course it didn't. So adjust to the message of the market. So it comes back up to this point, and you see all of this in here. It's like, hey, wait a second. Why did it not resist around 71.84 and do this? And now all of these periods showing the strength and holding in there within the 18 highs, now rising. And we're seeing how it's looking to break out above it. So to me, this looks like a beautiful setup ready to continue forward. Now let's move over to the altcoin scene against BTC. First off, Dash 006 is its price after it was 0053 a couple days back. And it's been a sudden decline as it left the 18 average, and there's been many of them in here from this high. But here, at least from the time it left the 18 highs on December the 16th, violently going down below this, we'll call it the 2/3 handle, all sixes, and then several, just a continuous grinding its way, but noticeably not too long within this rate of descent. And it's now managed to get its entire 5-6 days back into. Markets go higher faster than they go down historically, and so far in small moves, because it's only 6 days and small percentile points, given all this empty space up here. And it's got a long ways to go, and I don't even know if it's going to be doing that now. But as far as where it goes, a move like this, well, if you can just stabilize in here, that's enough to flatten out the 18 and neutralize the situation. If it can get above it and there's no previous level of area of resistance here, I'm looking at like 67 handle as possibly being something this could have the possibility to go. We can see just by looking at the two candles in here that at least in yesterday's session that it came up to the 58.6 handle and it pulled back down to at least that of 57. And that's all we know from here. But we'll shorten it out and see what else we can get amongst this. On the 8 hour, it had, there's this big continuous down move, a little bit of correctionary through time. This is market correcting through time from December 18th through December 22nd. And then the continuation down move. And now, within this here, we have the move on the rally 2 days ago. Couple periods here going sideways and pulling back, but supporting the 18 highs very well. The previous session having a good rally. A little bit of a pullback, but you know what? This looks like it's not done yet. That even just now, this period into the next, that we could be hitting into the 63, 64 area, or at least so it wouldn't surprise me on this. Let's take a look at the single hour chart. And we'll first look at it with a lot of periods, so we can see just over the last few weeks the length of just this decline. And this isn't going back to what it was a few months ago, March, April, and that doesn't go back to what it was like at the start of 2018 either. But as far as where it stands now, this area where we came from, well, we're at this little point here. So past that, I'm looking at between 66 to 68, 69. Okay. We had this level of previous resistance not quite come back to where it came from, which you could almost say is a bullish situation. And I think that actually myself. So here's your spot. I mean, everything's normal in here. You have your break of resistance, good gain. And then you consolidate this, have this, all normal. And then you have this correctionary move, come back to this, a justified breakout move. Okay, normal. And then you have this big green candle up that just takes all this in one period, normal. Make this high, normal. So this is where all the normals end. So now you have your correctionary move. Okay, this will be normal. You have your correctionary move after it. Yeah. But this line is noticeably lower than this high. Well, this high lower than this low. This could be one way of saying that sellers stopped their aggressiveness for whatever bullish reason. Buyers were a little earlier aggressively getting in normally than they would before. However it may be, it has transpired really well since. So now when you have a move from point key high to key low, and we're going to see this better on the shorter term, but before we do, we'll talk about it here. You have your move and you come back. Okay, next key level is previous high, which is what happened here. So we come back to previous high. We can see from this that we made the higher low to here. And now in this period, 26 seconds left of a 1 hour period. So it's pretty much complete. It's 10:59 a.m., almost 11 a.m. as I'm doing this. So we're getting the breakout. Nice setup. So as it goes here, I'd be expecting very soon that this be a little bit higher. So within here on the 15, we got all this data back in here. That's December 22nd, 7 days ago. So the decline of the lower highs and lower lows. And well, after tested this, you can call this a double bottom, whatever you want to call it, but it's gotten above it and has continuously done well. So it's been overextended, yes. But within its overextendedness, its correctionary moves, obviously this was the big one that was prior. And we've been doing a lot of this correcting even a little bit in here with this little bit of ascending triangle sort of formation. And as I've been stating, it looks like this thing is breaking out, that I wouldn't be surprised if we could have a significant break higher very soon from this point of view. And in viewing it within this, there's the resistance that it established in here, successfully coming down to this band, showing strength here. Not really, we'll call this a failed breakout, but a failed breakout within a successful correction. A failed breakout because as it was getting out above here, it pierced above previous high, but it didn't do anything else. And well, now we've come down in here, spent 5, 6, 7 periods at the lower end, starting at around 9:30, 9:45, coming up. Now we're leaving to this point, piercing above this level, but technically still matching this ascending triangle in place. And this period in itself, this 15-minute stamp, it's a little down, but I mean, just like before, if it's just, we should be going down to here in this 18 lows if we're going to have a type of correctionary move. So nothing to stop any of this short-term trend as it is. And I mean, when you watch this, if you're looking at it, it'll be so much time later. Most likely it would have already broken out. However, if a good setup fails you, don't be surprised if there's fast moves. I remember that from my early days of rookie trading, that, and I wasn't great at getting setups, and maybe I was on those ones, because when they failed, was it ever bad, big moves on the opposite direction. Now let's cross Dash up against Tezos, and I'm going to go to Tezos next. And this is a cross that I'm trading. Volatility. Here we have something at 83, down to 25, now up to 35. And I mean, this could go up a lot higher if Dash has a big move and or Tezos, however it's pronounced, falls. So that's how it goes. And I'm in position now, given my last trade was pretty much at this bottom area, where I can simply do a flip. I don't want to. Couple reasons. I already stated with Dash, I think it's going to have a good 6, 7, 8% move soon. So why do I want to sell now? Let's take a look at Tezos against Bitcoin. Which, from these lines that I put in, this is a 23.6% fib down mark, supporting it on December the 22nd. And then unable to support it successfully on Christmas and resisting it successfully on Boxing Day. Breaking down from that point 2 days ago on the 27th. Usually these things pierce extra to the next level. 1687 is the next target. That right now is like 60 points or 5%. And I would probably expect it to be like 1650-ish or so or less. So why don't I just wait for a better number? It usually happens, so we'll see. And the Theta, I'm going to go to next, pretty much in the same sort of realm. This is the entirety of Tezos on Binance. So it comes in, doesn't have much volatility, a little bit of a selling down to this 800 mark, making some nice patterns of higher highs and higher lows, but now it's been a sustained move with a declining 18 average on the 1/3 day chart, or 8 hour. And it's filling this empty space from this low to this high, retracing in Fibonacci. So thus approaching, not quite, but probably soon, the 38.2% mark at 1687. Theta is next, pretty much the exact same pattern. At least the pattern, in this case, same time frame, 8 hour, of the Fibonacci. It's probably piercing below 1127's next number. We're at 1158. 1100 even seems like a no-brainer. Probably even wouldn't even be a surprise if it pierces below to 1095. Whatever, but 1100 we'll just say, coinciding with this level of support. And all these little small failed breakouts that I said, I went over before in the past. I'm not going to do it here because I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon. But failed breakout, and it goes back to where it comes from. Smaller one, back to where it comes from. With a small failed breakout and a very big move. Still don't know yet if this is going to be a failure or not, because this is the must hold area that it's approaching, and it could pierce below it. It's normal to do that. So I trade Theta against several different coins. However, I don't want to get any buybacks right now, because I'm just going to keep an eye on it today. And if I see anything, and I got an alert way up here. So let me just add a new one. I could just go like add alert on horizontal array, and I think it'll come up. So crossing it, that's exactly what I want. All right then, that'll be it for today. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to this video, and I'll be back again either tonight or tomorrow. Bye-bye.